Okay then, hello and welcome back to another video. This is today going to be my attempt at doing a gas mod for a TM mag. So for those of you who don't know, in TM magazines there is a different valve to what you'll find in normal gas magazines, which means that as you're putting gas in through your bottle, ergo your kind of green gas, white gas, black gas, red gas, whatever you want to do. I've even got blue over here. You can get blue gas. There you go. Whatever gas you're putting in, as you're putting in the liquid, it allows the gas parts of it to vent, so you get more liquid gas in, less just gas in. Don't know if this actually makes any sense. If you imagine this as a container, like a water bottle, okay, and it's all pressurized. If you don't have stuff being able to get out, you can't put stuff in. So for TM, they've got valves on them which allow gas out while you're putting gas in, which means that instead of just having a little bit of liquid at the bottom of your magazine and then the rest of it just being gas taking up that volume, it's all liquid. The catch is the little tube that they have inside of the magazine goes quite high up into the gas chamber, and it's higher than the valve. So if we cut that tube back, you can get more gas in. I will explain in due course what that looks like, but first of all, let's take the magazine apart before we do the mod. For this, you'll need the same tools that we used actually for modding the barrel of the TM Saiga 12. So you'll need your pipe cutter, and in this case I've also got 2 screwdrivers, one for knocking the pins out, one for actually undoing screws. So first things first, you push this button on the back of the case and you've got 2 lips here which hook into your Saiga 12. So you push on the button, you pull forwards on this, and then it'll come out of the plastic case. Awesome, we put the plastic case to one side for now. Next thing, we need to flip it onto the side that has the screws, okay, at the top and the bottom. So to show you, there's a screw here and a screw here. All right. Now, people have done this mod before, so I am using a bit of inspiration from them for this one. Obviously, I know it's pretty much the gold standard for Stanag kind of NWS mags to do this, but I don't have one of those, so this is my first attempt at modding a TM mag. And again, the whole point of this channel is not necessarily to show you what's never been done before, it's more of giving you the insight of what it's like as somebody new to the world of Airsoft to do modifications that normally the pros do. Okay, now once this has been taken apart, you just pull towards you, and that's your BB chamber, and your feeder and all that stuff. That's your gas chamber. Now you need to make sure it's vented at this point, because otherwise when you take the plate off of the bottom, it's going to explode. Now you need to figure out which side is knurled and which side is not. So I believe this side, so with the chamber on your left, is going to be the side that you need to knock out. So I'm going to turn it upside down here and find something to pop it on top of. I need something tough that I'm not going to break. There you go, I can use this tiny Lush book that my wife has from her Lush subscription package. There you go. And then you're just going to use, you can use actual pin punches, but I have this and it's basically as good as. You stick it on top, and again, I don't even have a hammer with me at hand at the moment, so I'm just going to use the top of my Leatherman just to knock out these pins. There you go. Ta-da! Pins come out. Now I'm going to remember which side they went in at, so that way. Leave those over there, and then gently remove the bottom part of the magazine without damaging anything along the way. So there you go. Jesus, look how big that tube is. So the way I'm going to do this is to figure out how deep I need to make the cut, because again I'm doing this as if you were doing it at home, is I need something long and thin to go down the tube to then measure how far down the actual thing is. So give me just a second. Oh, there we go. We use the same thing that we used when we did the barrel mod. We use an old file I'm going to push this down until I hit the valve. So the valve is this far down. So I don't want it to be in line with the valve. So this is mega science here. So I'm going to pinch the top where it's hitting the valve, bring it out and then measure it up on this side, which means the valve's going to here. I'm going to cut it to about here-ish, I reckon. So the valve's here, I cut it to here-ish. You still want a little bit of room before it hits the valve, just for safety's sake, because what you don't want is that you're in the middle of a match and it all starts getting vomited back out at you. So, sorry, you're in the middle of a match and you're trying to put gas in your mag and it just gets vomited straight back in your face, because that's not safe. So, and again, this isn't an exact science because I can't do science, but less is also more for this, I would say, as well. So don't be tempted to cut more off than you need to, because it's dangerous. Now I'm just going to double check before I start cutting that I'm not going to hit the valve as I'm going. No, we should be fine. Okay, so same as last time with these, tighten it until it's tight, then spin it a couple of times. This should be cut through way easier than the last thing I did, because, well, put it this way, it's a lot softer metal this time around. There you go. Hopefully you guys are having a good day so far. Ta-da! Ta-da! There you go, and you can see the little valve in there now, hanging out a little bit lower now. Sweet. Awesome sauce. That is all just waste. I might keep that for something else in the future, who knows. Now at this point, we now work in reverse. Now, obviously you could go and get rid of, and there's not actually a burr on this time around. If there was sharp parts on it, you might want to get rid of it just in case, but otherwise just make sure there's no metal residue, things like that on there, because obviously that's going to get fired up into your gun as you're using it. So all good otherwise. I'm going to stick this one back now in here. So again, you're just working in reverse, so sticking this in first. It's quite a snug fit, I must say, quite a snug fit indeed. So now we want it this way round to stick the pins back in. No, yes. So, oh crikey, I was supposed to remember this. So, yes, this way around to stick the pins back in. Cool. Just follow the ones at the top. So, pins back in this way. Now, what I probably suggest is, if you're doing this at home, I would probably suggest, if you're going to do this at home, stick your pins in, then gas it up and see if it holds gas without leaking before you go any further, because you don't want to have to put the whole mag back together again just to find out that it's not ready to go. Now the only issue is I didn't come prepared for this, because I do not have, I'll tell you what, I can just stick it on here like this, can't I? Is it because we're not lined? Oh, it's because I'm not lined up on this side. Okay. Oh god. Okay, let me just pop this one back a little bit so we can get this one lined up. Okay, let me just get this both lined up. This is the harder part, is getting this lined back up now. We are in here. So. Jesus. It's a tough fit, I can tell you that for free. Again, might be some issues you're going to run into at home. God, Jesus. Science. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to just push this off camera so I can see just how much force is needed to push it back to where it needs to go. A fair bit, I'd say. Okay. Alright, I think I've got the first one in, which means I can tap this one now in the rest of the way. First one in. Maybe. No, it slid back out again. Fuck. This is difficult. So, I am going to try and figure this one out and I will be right back because... Okay, after a hideous fight with this bloody thing, I've managed to get it done. I'll let you into how I managed to get the pins back in. So by the looks of it, this whole process is much easier on the smaller magazines. The larger magazines, it's a little bit tighter, a little bit harder. So I managed to get the last pin in the bottom. So I found that my tip of having this pin in the other way to get it lined up to put the first pin in did work. And all I simply did was take this end tongue here, push it against, just this bit, push it against something hard, and that pushed this side up enough to get the other pin in. That is the hardest part of this by a country mile. Now, you wait until you figure out I've broken an O-ring and it doesn't hold gas. Perfect. So, there you go. That's all now full of gas. It can hold more than that. It can actually hold a ton more than that. Let me see. Jesus, that's still going. It's dead cold now, and I've used like half a bottle of gas on that, so that's very cold, and it can hold a lot more gas than before. I've heard that apparently you can get like 3 magazines out of a single fill on this once it's full. So we will have to give you guys a bit of an update with the build update later on. Although I could see now how many shots this does just with the gun itself. So let's see how many shots it does with just the new mod in. Oh no, we need to put the rest of the magazine back together, don't we? Deary me, I'm losing my marbles today. Let's put the rest of the magazine together quick. Oh dear. So first things first, where on earth did I put the screws? There they are. So you got to just go in here, lift, put this on top of there, lift that down, push that up, whatever the jazz. Stick all this back in. I'm pretty sure I've knocked everything off kilter now, so there you go. Sorted, there we go. Screw in the bottom, screw in the top. Oh, that screw's gone for a second, hold on. This is a very professional video, very professional. Okay, this one's a little bit harder to stick in because it's all tucked away. Ta-da! Okay. Right, don't over tighten these because I think you'd strip the threads if you're not careful. It is all screwing into plastic. There we go. This then slides back inside of the case like so. Still no issues with the gas there. We're all Gucci. Alright, let's see how this thing performs. Alright, excuse the absolute mess that is this room currently. I've got so many projects underway today. So I would say normally this will do a mag and a half. So this is a 30 round magazine. So I'm guessing more than that now. So let's have a guess, shall we? So we'll count. Oh shit, I actually break it. So this is with the gas mod. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wait a second, because it's very cold. So we're at 52. Cool down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 58, 59, 60. So we're at 2 full magazines. Now I would say, because there's a lot of gas going through the gun, I'd say cooldown wise, so it's 60 rounds. So it's 2 magazines, and that's with the fact that this entire gun is also very cold right now. See if we get any more. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. 77, 78, 79, 79. I would say if you didn't have to worry about the cooldown on this, I would say you're getting 3 magazines now rather than 1.5. I would say we potentially doubled the capacity in there. I couldn't say for definite. I will let you know. I'm having a game day with this literally this weekend, so I'm doing a build update video soon with the plans for it, as well as what we've done so far. But I would say we're probably along the lines of 3 magazines, 1.5 to 3 mags. I personally, when I was playing with this at Blackstone, because you're going through magazines slightly faster maybe than other venues because it's very, very close. Yeah, this thing's absolutely frozen. I would say with this, I was getting a 1 magazine out of it, and there was actually a time where I'd had a full mag and I actually only got about 3/4 of a magazine out of it. But my issue is that Blackstone, you're playing so fast, so quickly all of the time, and you are shooting a lot more than you would in, say, a regular environment, because you're spawning, bang, 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 respawning, bang, 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 respawning, bang, 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 respawning, bang, 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 so quick that your gun hasn't got time to cool down. I mean, not as quick as what I've just done. Obviously, I've just rattled off 70 plus shots in about a minute or so, but definitely a major improvement there then. So I would probably say that you've got a fair amount of leeway now going into the future. I'm going to do my other magazine because I've got a mini mag too, and see how that gets on. So do the big mag and the mini mag, and then we'll go from there really and see how we get on. But catch you guys in the next one.